Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. It's Kim here, and today is our Thrifty Canucks video. And because I had said last week I was going to start out each week showing you the free digitals that I've put in our new Facebook group. I have a big stack of them here. So this is what's gone on in the week since I showed you the last batch. So the free digitals are hosted in the group called Creative Collections of Free Digital Printables. The link to the Facebook page is down below in the description. And if you want to join, we would love to have you join us. And every day, both Caroline from Caroline's Craft Tree and myself, Kim Newberg from Images by Kim, we offer free digitals for you to download and use to create for your journal making or whatever projects, maybe you're a card maker or mixed media. These images are available to you there. So this is what I put up last week. Now I haven't quite got the concept of one download a day because I've been clearing up a lot of stuff that's on my computer and sorting files and stuff. So I figured, you know what, whatever I make because I want to get these files moved over to an archive section. So some days you're going to get lots of digitals to download, and some days you'll only have one. It'll be my one-page wonders, as I call them. But today I'm showing you the digitals for the past week. So if you haven't joined, you might want to go over and join, and then you'll have to scroll through and find the different pages and click on them to go and download them. So I did do a set of these, I called them sage green frames. They're kind of ornate frames, and these are little minis, and these are great to use in collage, or you could put a little picture in there, ink stamp on them, write words, or use your ink words. You can use them as labels. So this is one of my favorites, and they come 6 by 6, so you get 36 on a page. Then I did them a little bit bigger where you get, because I think I only had 4 in total. I think that's what it was, 4 in total that I was offering. And so these repeat over and over again. And so same with this, there's a set of 4, 8, 12, 16. So you get 4 of each design on here. A little bigger. These are fun again to use for clusters or snippets. And again, you can add your own imagery into there. Then I have the large size, which is 4 to a page. These are perfect for journal cards and tags. What I like to do, because a lot of people say, well, what do you do with a frame? How do you collage with a frame? I like to use these as the back side of my journal cards. So I will glue this down to some book page on the back side. I always use these on recycled papers. But I will glue a book page to the back, and then I will flip it over and I will collage on that side, and then this becomes the writing space on the back of the card. But most certainly you could put images in there, like a pretty woman, or maybe a picture of a child or a vintage scene or something. You can cut this out and use it as a frame over top of something. You can cut this out and use a clear acetate to make a window, and then turn it into a pocket where you have something that slips inside. So lots of different options to play with this. So you get this size as well. And I make these smaller sizes mainly for your convenience so that you can quickly print them. I mean, it's not like I call it 3 digital pages, but it's the same image, just different sizes. If you have, some printer skills and you have the right type of printer, you could print this page 4 up on a page. So it would get you to have 4 and 4 and 4 and 4 to get the same effect here, doing it this way. But I just do it for you so that it's quick and easy, and you could print it as you need it. So then later in the week, I gave you these corsets and dress forms, and there were quite a few different designs here. So there are 4 on a page to make journal cards or tags. This would make a really cute tag if you fussy cut it out completely and then just make a tag top on it. You can also use these to dress them up and put fabrics hanging down to collage fabric onto here or stitch fabric on. This is also a perfect size and design that allows to wrap ribbons and trims and lace around here. So if you glue these to some file folders or cardstocks, you can make some really pretty ribbon cards for your to hold your laces and trims. Same with these ones here. I love these. They're so easy to cut out and so pretty. And you can use these in a sewing journal or use them to make lace cards, or collage with other things to make journal cards. And then I don't like wasted space on the bottom, so I always give you the minis across the bottom when they don't fit right on the page. And then I have these ones as well. And again, really pretty. I love this one with the pink roses on it. And I offer you the minis down here on the bottom. Same with down here. These are all... And these are good for doing clusters. This would be really fun if you have a layered cluster where maybe you have some book page and then you have some pretty coral fabric and maybe a piece of lace over top of that, and then you just attach this on top of the whole thing to make it look like it's part of the the original dress. So fun play there. And then yesterday the day before, I think. Yeah, I missed a day again. I was going crazy with these crazy stitches, and they are super fun to play with, which you're going to see right away. They're just in black and white. You can scribble with your crayons or with your pastels or inks, or you can ink stamp on these. You can doodle on here. You can do writing in between the lines and just have some fun, eclectic style of decorating. Another thing is, if you've got scrapbook paper that's not really, doesn't pop a lot, or, it's pretty kind of boring, you can print these designs over top of it, and it makes it look like it's stitching on your paper. And then the other thing you can do is you can slow stitch with a needle and thread or some yarns and create different patterns on top of here. Follow some of the patterns. Just so many options. You can watercolor over top of these. Just lots of fun. So there were so many designs. This is AI created, of course, and so many designs that it just makes it hard to stop. And, I just kept creating these designs and loving how each one turned out. Like this one looks like burlap to me. So, if you print this onto a brown paper bag, it would look quite interesting, for the design. And so there's 36. Now, I could have made these smaller, like journal card size and little snippet size, although I think in the smaller cluster size you might lose some of the design because it would be too condensed. But I figured all you have to do is put this through your printer 4 up on a page, and then you'd have your instant 4 journal cards. So if you have problems where you can't do that type of thing and you would like me to do 4 to a page, just leave me a note in the post where I have these. You have to go to the group and find this post and just say, could I please have, or could you please make 4 up to a page of the different designs. So 36 divided by 4, that would give you 9 pages of, quarter page images. So if you want that, let me know, and then I will design them up and add them into another upcoming offering. But here are some of the different designs. And now, well, actually, here are all of the different designs. Like this one here, it just lends to you being able to stitch with some embroidery floss right over top of these stitches. And how convenient, these little circles, you could stitch buttons on there as well. So it would be just a fun thing to add to a page. Love this design. So scribbly. Love this one too. And well, both of these. And then just thick and thin lines. This one looks very eclectic in its design. Same with this one. Just says fun things that you can add with this. And I'll show you what I've done with some of them as well. So I'll just quickly go through them. There's a lot. This one takes on a kind of a ethnic look to me. Jean was saying this was exactly how she sews. Well, Jean, if you sew like this, then I want some of those pages, because this is, I just think it's so much fun. This one I printed on the wrong side, so there's words written on here. But yeah, you can use your ink stamps or doodle or anything on top of that yet too. It's like, you know, coloring with no rules. To me, it's just fun. Anyway, you get the idea. So this one, I just did some zigzag in red stitches and just followed the pattern very loosely. You know, the whole idea was to show that it's eclectic and crazy stitching. And so I will continue to add different colors on here. I just wanted to do this quickly for your sake. So I did that one, and then this one I was following the lines here, if you can see the red. But you could easily do this with a felt marker too and just create different designs on top. So it just gives you an excuse to doodle and have fun. And then today, if you went to the group today, you found this set of 6, I'm calling them messy stitch sewing machines, because the stitching is on the sewing machine like that, and I thought that was fun in itself. So you can turn these into individual journal cards by just backing them with other cardstock or other papers to give them a little bit more thickness, and then of course a back to write on. And you can further enhance them with your threads, your collage, whatever you want to add on top. So this is what I did with this one. So all I did was I just, you know, sewed around it in the red, and you know, because I'm kind of staying with the red and the black and the white, and then I added this piece of fabric, and then I just stitched on top of it, and then I cut a bunch of threads and tied them or wrapped them up together, and then sewed back and forth over top of them. If you look in the back there, look, it's almost like one of my pages, except there's red on here. But yeah, so now this would be easy to just cut out, glue to another backing so that it's a journal card that you can write on, and it's good to go. You can add this onto colored paper. Again, you can add this onto your ugly scrapbook papers that you have just by cutting them down to 8.5 by 11, putting them through the printer, and then you have a colored one, and then just look for colored scraps of fabric or lace or trims that you can add to it, and just do some additional sewing on top, whether you sew by hand, sew with a felt marker, or sew with the actual machine. You could add pins, buttons. If you're doing a sewing journal, you could add all kinds of little bits and pieces to embellish, to further reflect the sewing, but just to have fun with it. And like I said, it just gives you this urge to start playing. Like if you have pencil crayons, you can color all this in different colors and make some really wild looking sewing machines. So I hope you enjoy that. I hope you have fun with it, and I hope I've given you enough ideas to play with these kinds of things. And I hope I can convince you to go join our free group and download these images all for free. So now let's get on to the thrifting part. Now, for my thrifties that are putting things in this box, it's a little slim on this video, but do not worry, because on Friday or Saturday you will have a huge de-stash fun kit if you are interested in it to add to your box. It's in shades of purples. There will be a few other things as well, but this purple kit, I don't know if you follow me on Facebook or if you've seen my posts on Instagram or Facebook. I have been dyeing fabrics and trims in purples and violets, and they came out gorgeous. So I'm really excited to put some kits together. Plus I have different purple fabrics and fibers and things that I will be adding to that package to make a fun kit for making a journal or for doing slow stitching or whatever. There will be journal size fabrics that are included with all of the things that I dyed. Well, you'll see the kits. You'll just have to wait till Friday or Saturday when I have the video up. But there are a few things in today's video, but not a lot. So I picked up 2 scarves. These were $2 each. Found them at my local thrift shop, my favorite little shop. And I think they're almost, well, they're about 2 yards long, I think. Yeah, they're about 2 yards long. So they have this fabric that I would use for an overlay of sorts on a project. And then they have this trim, I guess that's the back side. So I will remove the trim first, or cut it really close to the edge to keep a little bit of the orange, I think. I think I might keep the orange. I like it. So I will remove the trim. So on this one scarf, that because it's on both sides, that's like getting 4 yards of trim. So I'm really pleased with how much trim you get for the price I paid, and then the fabric that goes with it. And then the same one in this green. It's a pretty bright green, but I'm sure I could use it. And when I see the two together, something is connecting with this. So I like it. And so the same thing. I got about 4 yards of trim that I'm going to use. So sorry, Thrifties, this one is for me. But just to give you an idea. Put that aside. Now, Thrifties, I'm showing your stuff more at the end. I went to another thrift shop down east, and I picked up 2 little girls' dresses. These were both $2 as well, which was pretty cool. Now this has this elastic, it's like a smocking, I guess. Not really, it's like a smocked top. I could see cutting this to make a journal just by itself with the smocking, and and then further enhancing it with other trims and things to finish off the edges of it. But it would make a nice journal cover if I glue it or stitch it down to something that's a base first, and then further enhance it so that it's a little bit more dimension to it. Because this in itself to me would be too boring. Just this would be too boring. But I really bought it for these lace overlays, like these little sleeve caps will open up quite nicely and give me lots of product to work with. But it's the skirt. Look at all of this fabric on the skirt that is just waiting for me to use. So no, this won't be available for my Thrifties because there's too much work for me to take it apart. I have to do it separately, but there someday may be a kit that comes out of some of this, but it's really for my use first. But yeah, and then it comes with a it's a polyester, kind of a stretch polyester in here, but certainly good for doing ruffles and small projects, snippet projects. But yeah, it's really the daisy fabric that I picked it up for. The one that, and I paid $2. I can't believe I paid $2 for that thing. But the other dress that I got for $2, because all the children's clothing in this shop is $2. Oh, I think I lost a needle somewhere. I'll have to look for that. Okay. I'm going to put this aside because it's catching on things. This dress here is just a summer dress, little girl's dress. Again, $2, but I love the lobsters. So these would be fun to use. I could see making a journal cover with it, or some type of where I use part of it, not necessarily all of it. And I could also see cutting them out individually to use for spot elements on a page or on a tag. Like this one isn't complete, but if I cut it out and use it on a tag, it's good enough to get the point across and to further enhance it with other things. But yeah, I just loved it because it's lobsters. Just so odd. I can't actually see a young girl wanting to wear this. It just says no, which is probably why it ended up in the thrift shop. And the tags look like they're pretty new. So I don't think anyone wore this much, if it was worn at all, to be quite honest. But yeah, it is cute for the fabric purpose that I bought it. And sorry, I'm reaching down to get my next thing here. Usually I have it on my desk. I don't know why I didn't pile things on my desk. I picked this up at the Salvation Army, and it was $1.99. Coco Chanel. Love this. I think I'll have to read it first or flip through it first, but it's all on, what's her name? Gabrielle, right? Gabrielle Chanel. The story of Chanel begins with an abandoned girl as lost as a girl in a dark fairy tale, unveiling remarkable new details about Gabrielle's early years in a convent orphanage and her flight into unconventional adulthood. What a story, huh? And then the imagery is just beautiful. Just look at, there's Jackie Onassis, Jackie Kennedy at the time. But just beautiful black and white photos. I've been wanting to do that little black dress journal, and so this is going to go in that pile as well. But just love some of these pictures. Of course, now that I want to show you pictures. Love this boudoir picture. And just gorgeous imagery in here that I can use for my journals. Love this. Some of these advertisements and well, look at the photos. Just the photos in itself are amazing. And it goes on and on. So these images will be so much fun to use. I might actually read this book. I'm not much of a reader, but this one interests me, so I'd like to learn more about her story. But, oh, look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? So, yeah, lots of fun imagery to look at. Here's a nice colored one. That's beautiful. So these will be fun. There's my little black dress, and these will be fun to, oh, look, it even says the little black dress. So these will be fun to use in a journal, definitely, or several journals. So, again, a little bit selfish but to show you, but it is one that I will work with by myself. Sometimes I feel guilty about the things I find. This next thing that I'll show you, it's a little index file holder. It was $2.99, and it came full of the index cards. You know, just plain index cards. There's nothing fancy. They're just printed on the one side. But these are things that I use all the time in my journal making. I, again, like to use this as the back side of a journal card or tag, and then I collage on top of here so that you have the lines to write on, which, you know, is a good indication for people when they get a journal and they see that there's lines on the back that they can actually write on it. And then I use this side to collage on top. Now, you know, it's not a bad weight of paper, so you really don't need much to add on top. But I still like to add like a layer of book page and then start my collage, whether I'm using napkins or, you know, individual little fussy cuts and things. But it just gives it a little bit more dimension and thickness. So yeah, it was $2.99. You know, I have lots of index cards, but for that price, to get 2 full packages and then an open package and then all of the little papers that go with it. Oh, some information here. Obviously, they didn't go through it that quickly. I'm not going to go or open it up much because it's got personal, names on here. So I will just discard those and use this for myself. So for $2.99, again, just a fun little thing. If any of my thrifties need some index cards, just let me know and I'll put, you know, 10 or 20 in a package for you. Just let me know if you want some. So you can let me know in the comments below if you want that. The next thing, paper clips. This was a package for $1. And I figured, you know, I go through a lot of paper clips, and they're for 6 packs, and I don't think I can get them for $1 anywhere. This was all 6 for $1, so I thought that's pretty good. So I have 6 boxes. I go through them all the time, but Thrifties, if you want a box of paper clips, just let me know and I will throw it in your box. Because you might be like me and running a little low. And the next thing, this was $4, a package of paper, and I don't think there's very much taken out of it. But the fun part is, it is blue. Isn't that a pretty color? So it's a whole full package. So yeah, if my Thrifties would like to have some of this, just say some blue papers, and I will add, you know, 20 papers into your box. 20, I think, is lots for doing signatures and stuff. But yeah, I just saw the package, and it's not often that you can find colored paper like this, and in this light color, not too overpowering in color. This is such a nice color. So yeah, if you want some paper, Thrifties, just say paper. So far, these are the items that you're getting from this: the paper clips, paper, and some index cards. And the last thing for my Thrifties, if you're interested, I was on Temu. It's that late night shopping, and I bought these seed packets for myself. So if you want a 5-pack, because I think I got 50 of them, if you want a 5-pack, just let me know and I will add it to your package. They're just little seed envelopes that you would put whatever type of seeds you want in there, and then seal it shut. But these are just fun little things to add into our journals. So if you want a 5-pack of these, I'm more than willing to share. I did buy a couple of other things from Temu, a couple personal things, and then I think I told you I was buying those pocket organizers, you know, that look like a dress form. And when they came, I specifically ordered the ones with zippers, and when they came without zippers. So I shipped them back because Temu does have a good return policy, so I was able to ship them back, just put a shipping label on the package and send it right back. And I had a choice of a credit to my account or that they would actually refund me. I said just credit to my account. So usually when something like that, they're pretty good, and you get the money pretty fast added to your account. So I don't really have anything else to show you except the seed packets. Otherwise I would have been gloating over the fact that I got these zipper things. So I'm back to square one and manually looking for them, just like everybody else. I'll be looking in the wild for them. But if Temu does have another seller that sells the ones with the zippers, I may speed up the process if I can find them at a good price. But Thrifties, if you want a 5-pack of these seed envelopes, I will add that to yours as well. So the only other thing is, again, my best for the last. I just crack myself up when I come across these things, and it just, you know, you just wonder, how is the universe, like, at what point is the universe going to stop? When am I going to stop getting this stuff? But obviously I'm supposed to do something with it. I got not one, but 2 bags of wool. 3 bags full. Well, I got 2 bags full. So I'm going to start with this one. This is the raw wool. It's been washed, but it still has like sticks in it and threads in it, but it is clean. It smells clean. Doesn't smell like sheep. So I need to do the carding where you clean it further, and then I can turn it into wool that I can spin. I like it just like it is, and I probably will use it like it is for some stuff, you know, because then I can get the texture and the, you know, the thicker pieces, and like there's some that's really bunched together, but there's even still burrs in it. But it is clean. I know it's clean, and there was a label in the package that it was clean washed. I don't think they can sell it like that anyway, but it does smell clean. I'm not concerned at all, and I will further go through it and clean it up myself. But I got this for $7.99 a bag, and then I got 20% off because I had a coupon. This was with Salvation Army. If you spend $20, you get to use your coupon. So I had spent $20 on stuff. So it was 8 times 8, so $6.40 for the bag. And then this one is all different colors. So in here, now the person who donated this, and this is the same thrift shop that I got all those embroidery threads that turned out to be silk. So I'm starting to wonder if we're starting to see somebody's collection of stuff. But this bag here is full of shades of, it says grapes and plums. So it's, you know, those kinds of colors. And it was $8 for the bag, and this came from the Fiber Garden in Jordan, Ontario, wherever that is. And then there's like this huge bag of orange. Now, if you measure that up to that, that's 8 and 8. And then this comes from London Wool Fibers, the Woolworks company in New Brunswick. I don't know where that is, but I'll have to investigate. And it's like a brown fiber. Beautiful. And then this is a hodgepodge of stuff, mixed colors, but there's shades of blue and navy and a little bit of purple. But this is all stuff that I want to use for the slow stitching. I haven't gotten into adding the wools. And the reason why is I want to get a drop spindle. If you look it up online, you'll see them. I want to use a drop spindle to spin some of this into yarn, but I want it to be a very chunky yarn, and I want to mix other things in with it so that I get a really textured wool that I want to play with in my slow stitching. But I was in search of a drop spindle. The prices are kind of high out there, and you know, I'm just testing the waters on this, so I don't want to invest a lot of money. So I looked at a couple places yesterday online, and I called a couple places, and most of them are charging quite a bit. You can find a drop spindle on AliExpress or Temu, which is more, you know, it's a more the price is much better. I'm trying to think the right word I wanted to use, but the prices are much better. But I talked to my husband, and he took a look at it, and he said he's going to make me a couple. So and then he said, well, we need some dowels, and I said, well, I think I have some, and it turns out I don't have any wooden dowels. I thought I did. I have other spindly type things, but they're not as nice. And I have to be able to put a screw into the dowel top. So I have to go and pick up a dowel to do this. Anyway, so he's going to make one for me. And if you have a chance to look at these drop spindles and how they work, it's pretty cool. You may want to consider making one or picking one up and playing around with it yourself. But I'm going to play with it and test it and see how it works. And if it works well, then I will not necessarily do a demonstration, but definitely show you the wool that I've made from it. And then this person, whoever this comes from, so they had this turquoise, and there's a little bit of other colors in here as well. And they started to spin it into yarn. So I don't know what they're using, if they have a yarn spinner or if they're using a drop spindle. I looked just in case there might be something in the craft section where, you know, they had thrown it in a baggie of other stuff, because you never know, right? And I'll go back in a week or two and see if I can find it again. Now, they have some heavier spots and thin spots. I don't know if that's planned or, you know, if it was not great for spinning, but this is what it was made from. And so I will use this as well in my playing. But I want to be able to add things to this, like other colors, and spin some of it, but not all of it, sort of like in little pieces. And I thought some of the acrylic fibers that we have, like the eyelash trims and the boa trims, I thought they would be fun to mix in with this stuff. And then I want to be able to pull this and just play around with different ideas. But I will show you that into this slow stitching once I get there. But my little container, or my big container that I had, is full to the maximum with all the fibers that we bought, Thelma and I bought, and then we bought the second day, and then we went to the fabric sale and I got the wool scarf pieces, and you know, I've just been adding and adding and adding. And then there are some wool yarns that I had in my own personal collection that I've dug out and added to that container as well. And it is over the top full. Like, I'm already, this is new. I need another container. But yeah, then there's this yellow and orange. There's a little bit of everything. There's some burgundy and some dark red. That's a beautiful color. So there's a little bit of everything in here. And then same within this one, they've added some, I guess they've spun some of it. Yeah, some of it has been made into a yarn, which is fun too. And I will use all of these in my projects. Sure I will. In what lifetime, Kim? But yeah, just fun stuff that I plan to, oh, I love this purple, that I plan to play with and use for slow stitching. If I can get to that far. But I thought that was a fun thing to show for the last, except there is sort of one little thing, and that I bought a ball of this yarn for $1 at my other little thrift shop. And this, it's just regular yarn, but it is wool. And I will add some of this into my purple de-stash kits that I'll be making on the next couple of days, and I will be showing on the weekend. So I'm not going to offer this Thriftees. I'm just going to add it into the purple mix that I'm putting together. So if you're interested in that, you'll just have to see the video. And on that video, I will be probably offering kits to the public, but only in Canada. I think I've figured out a way now that I can start selling a bunch of different things in a de-stash kit that you can just purchase and pay the shipping, and away you go. So I'm still figuring the details on that, but I will try to let you know more on Saturday. Hopefully I'll have figured it out by then. So that is it for my showing today. Like I said, it wasn't a really huge haul, but fun all the same. And, you know, there's always stuff to find. It's just I had a really busy week this week, so I didn't have time to do a lot of shopping. But, you know, I am pleased with all the fun things that I got, and that I can share some of it with you. I think probably my favorites are the blue paper, the daisies, and, of course, this stuff. So that's it. That's all for today's video. Thrifties, if there's anything you want, leave me comments down below. And last week's Thrifty video and last week's de-stash video are now both open to my second round, my backup Thrifties. So if you're interested in any of those, please go check them out and let me know in the comments. And then on the weekend will be my de-stash for this week. That's it. That's all. I wish you all a very creative day and a creative week, and I look forward to seeing you all soon. Bye for now.